So you have a rushed base and you're looking at that village right now and you're trying to figure out, how do I fix this thing? Where do I even begin? I know, we are too. Today we're going to take a look at reprioritizing the upgrades on our Town Hall 14. What's going on, my friends? My name is Joe, and welcome back for episode 73 of the Rush That Base series. Now, this is a series that started back in 2020 for fun. We had a lot of fun by rushing our accounts as a max Town Hall 7 all the way to Town Hall 13. And then once Town Hall 14 was released, we could not help but take it one step further and rush into Town Hall 14. Now, what's really tragic about this account is the fact that it's gotten really out of hand, and we don't even know where to start when it comes to building upgrades. Do we target the pets first? Do we upgrade our storages? And I've had a lot of requests for this as of late. A lot of players are in the same situation where they're like, where do I even start? Where can I begin to fix this rush? Now, for those of you out there that don't know what a rush base is in the first place, believe it or not, it's a very simple concept. All they really do is upgrade their town hall to the next town hall level, build all the brand new buildings, and continue that process all the way up to the maximum level in the game without actually stopping and upgrading all the buildings on their villages. Does that make sense? It's very common today, as a matter of fact, and I don't really blame them when we really think about it, because a lot of us look at Clash of Clans and we see all the brand new stuff come out and we want to play with that brand new stuff, the super troops, and they want to play with the pets, and they want to have the brand new town hall level. And when you think about it and compare it to our free-to-play series, which is played traditionally, we upgrade each individual item on the base up to max, and we've been playing that series for 21 months. So who really wants to wait 21 months to get to the end game anyways? When we really think about it, nobody actually wants to do that. But regardless of why you rushed your bases, it doesn't really matter at this point. You're already here and you want to fix it. So we're going to use this progress base to give us a little bit more of a definitive answer or a prioritization of our buildings to do two different things. We want to increase the amount of resources that we can claim and obtain passively, and we also want to increase the power of our army. That way we can steal more resources and possibly dominate other players in clan war. Now, you might be looking at this base and you're questioning, why are the defenses on the other side? You're already rushed. It doesn't really matter now, right? The defenses, they're just gonna stay this way for a while. We only have a handful of builders that we can use anyways, so we need to prioritize them in a place that really matters to assist you with getting more resources and that stronger army, and then the defenses will fall into place once you have that. So we're going to start out down here in the bottom side of this base. I will link this progress base down in the description below if you would like to follow along, and we're going to start out with our very first building. The very first building in your upgrade priority listing, regardless of whatever town hall level you're playing, will always be the laboratory, and the reason behind that is because your laboratory needs to upgrade troops. And then secondly, if you use the power potion, if you use a power potion, you get 1 hour of boosted troops for the highest level of your laboratory. In this case, we have a Town Hall 13 laboratory, so it will only go to the highest level for Town Hall 13, not Town Hall 14. So we must upgrade this again. Now, I got a little ahead of myself right there. One major note about upgrading these buildings that I will give to you is that I highly recommend that if you start upgrading a building, just keep upgrading it to the maximum level allowed for your town hall level. So what I'm saying here is that if I start upgrading my laboratory, take it all the way to the maximum level. That might be a little easier said than done because they are very expensive upgrades and they do take a really long time, but you gotta stay focused. You want to get it to the maximum level because that's where the true benefit of being rushed in the first place comes from. And our next upgrade would be our clan castle. That's where this really comes into play. By upgrading your clan castle, one, you increase the amount of troops that you can obtain from clanmates. 2, you can increase getting siege machines. If you don't have a Town Hall 10 clan castle, you need to upgrade to that at least. And then 3, the amount of spells that you can bring as well as your treasury, as well as the hit points. But you also got to take into consideration how long it takes to upgrade this thing. You just got to overlook that, or use a book of building or a hammer of building just to get past it. I know it's really easier said than done, but you just got to stay focused. The next items in our upgrade listing would always be our storages, the gold storages, the elixir storages, as well as the dark elixir storage. The reason behind upgrading these, 1, is to increase the amount of capacity available on your bases, and 2, because of the runes. If you use a rune of gold, a rune of elixir, or a rune of dark elixir, you have the ability to fill your storages all the way up, and you're not wasting those runes. If you do not increase the level of these buildings, you will be wasting runes because you might be missing out on a couple million worth of resources each time you use a rune. Next in our upgrade order for a rush base would always be our collectors, our dark elixir drills, our elixir collectors, and our gold mines. This is passive income all the time. It's always pulling resources. So if you're offline and you do not upgrade these, you could be missing out on resources by not having these at the maximum level allowed. So we're definitely going to be targeting these as we move through and making sure that we get them to the maximum level allowed. Most of mine are already done, but you might be looking at level 1s or something, and that's really just a waste of time and resources at the end of the day. Moving into offensive buildings, first and foremost, always upgrade your army camps to the maximum level allowed for the game. Right now it's currently level 11, and by doing so you increase the amount of troop housing space that you can take into battle. Right now it's currently 300. It could increase in the future. We really don't know yet before the game ever actually releases these things, but this is very important because you can definitely bring in more resources and you can gain more 3 stars by having more troops. This is something that a lot of players down to the lower town hall levels do not have, so take advantage of it as a rush based player. And then when we get into our other buildings, you might be able to get away with not upgrading them to the max level. I mean, unless you're really dead set on fixing the rush 100%, you could get away with waiting on your barracks, because unless you want to play with the Yetis or you want to play with the headhunters, you can always wait on these things. But again, at the same time, it depends on the armies that you're trying to use. The same thing applies to the spell factory. You could take your spell factory to level 5 and you can still get the maximum level or the maximum amount of storage space at level 5 that you have at level 6. The only difference here is the visual appearance as well as the acquisition of the invisibility spell. So unless you really want to play with the invisibility spell, you might be able to save a little bit of elixir for a little while and wait on this upgrade. Same thing with your your dark spell factory. Same thing also applies to your siege machine workshop. Unless you're donating to your clanmates, you might be able to just hold off on this for a little while. But again, this all depends on you and the clan that you're in. We'll talk about clans later on in the video. And then last but not least, we're going to go ahead and get into heroes. And this is a very touchy subject because a lot of players out there do not realize the benefits of upgrading their heroes. They're very expensive for a reason, because by increasing the level of your heroes, the stronger your army gets. And so what you really need to focus on here is looking at upgrading your resources, upgrading your laboratory, focus on keeping something in that laboratory, unlike me, and then focus all of your dark elixir and your elixir on upgrading your heroes to the maximum level. This increases the power of your army. This increases the amount of resources that you can steal, and again, it also increases the likelihood of 3-starring in battle. This is something that everybody out there wants to do. And then when we get into our pets, I'm kind of like really on the fence about pets right now. I see that they could become very beneficial in the future, so you might want to unlock them, but you also have to think about increasing the level of those pets, which is also more dark elixir. So I would say that you probably should focus more on your heroes for right now, dumping all of your excess gold into your walls, get your heroes to the maximum level and then work on your pets. It's just a method. It's just my suggestion. You could always do it however you want, but this is what a lot of seasoned rush-based players do, is increase these buildings right here, increase the level of their heroes to max, and then they work into defenses. We're not going to worry about defenses too much because it really just goes like this. I would knock out my traps. I would go into the high-end buildings like our Eagle and our Inferno Tower, scatter shots, and then work into the same exact pattern that we do at the lower Town Hall levels. But again, all a suggestion, just something that you can think about and try for yourself, and we'll do our best to try to show you the results in the future. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into our laboratory for a second, because the rules, like I mentioned a little while ago about a rush base, is a lot different than what you're going to do as a traditional Town Hall level player. A lot of those armies that you see here on YouTube probably do not apply to you yet, like the Yeti Smashes or the Hybrid or even Dragon armies for that matter, because you haven't upgraded your troops yet, and you might need power potions to replicate those armies. Depending on the type of clan you're in, or whether you're trying to do clan war, one of the first priorities that you need to set above everything else in your laboratory is upgrading a farming army. Now, when it comes to a farming army that I would recommend for you as a young rush-based player is just do baby dragons. One, they just use elixir. They don't require dark elixir to unlock, and all you have to upgrade here would be the baby dragon to the max level, as well as the lightning spell, and you can steal a lot of resources just like that. Now, a lot of players out there might suggest to you go get the sneaky goblins. So let's go ahead and jump into our super troops real fast. And so I'm approaching this with the free-to-play player mindset. What does that mean exactly? Well, we're working on hero upgrades, right? And it's easy to sit here and say, yeah, you should max out your heroes, which takes a ton of dark elixir and it takes a lot of elixir, right? And then if I go in here and I say, yeah, you should go into the super troops and you should unlock the sneaky goblins every 3 days. Well, that's 25,000 dark elixir. And depending on how much you play, you might not want to spend 25,000 dark elixir every 3 days. Does that make sense? So I would recommend using the sneaky goblins if you play the game a lot. I'm talking you are straight up grinding your rush base, then yes, unlock the sneaky goblin, but remember you got to upgrade the goblin itself to the level required to unlock the sneaky goblin. So it goes in steps. Either focus on the baby dragon to get you started in farming and stealing of resources, or focus on the goblin. But a lot of times with your goblin armies, you need to increase the level of your jump spell, increase the level of your rage spell. There's a lot of things that come into play here, and again, it all depends on how you play the game. So again, yes, sneaky goblins are great, but they also cost dark elixir. If you don't play the game a lot, then don't unlock them. Focus on using the baby dragons instead. And then your next question might be, what about a clan war army? And a lot of players out there are probably going to lose their minds right about now, but if I was to recommend a clan war army, I would either recommend upgrading your dragons and using dragons in war, or upgrading your electro dragons and using them in war. So you remember that priority guide that we just looked at a moment ago? By taking those buildings to the maximum level, you're going to need a ton of resources. Those gold mines, those elixir collectors, those dark elixir drills, they are just not going to be enough to provide you the resources that you're going to need. So you need to make sure that you're farming in a trophy range that gives you a lot of resources. Now, my recommended range when it comes to stealing resources would be in Crystal League and Masters League, and there's some reasons behind that. If you go up to Champions League and Titans League, yes, you can get a really nice win bonus up there and get a lot of resources, but you're also going to be facing off against a lot of high-level players, and those same high-level players can hit your bases and steal a lot of decent resources from you, which is very much needed for the upgrading on your bases. Now, some of you guys out there might be questioning, well, what about Silver League, and what about the Bronze League? And we learned the hard way a couple of months ago by dropping that low in leagues. Yes, there are resources down there, but there's also a lot of players down there that will just hit your base and leave you without a shield, which just opens you up for like 20 different players to come in and attack your village, steal resources, and they will steal those resources really, really fast if they leave you without a shield. We learned this the hard way a couple of months ago. I was just curious, and it was probably one of the worst mistakes I ever made in this game by dropping that low as a Town Hall 12 and just losing out on a ton of resources. So again, if you are trying to farm, you need to be in a decent range where there's a lot of decent dead bases, but a lot of bases that you can hit as a rush base player, like this one right here. This one had a decent amount of resources on it regardless, and we're going to use our baby dragons to try to take this village down. I'm just going to go and spam an army because I've been looking a little while. Right now the resources, they're just not that great. All right, so we're going to finish up this video on the topic of finding a clan as well as the benefits of a gold pass, because if you really want to speed up the progress of your villages, you want to buy the gold pass. We'll talk about that here in a second. So finding a clan in Clash of Clans is already really difficult. A lot of players out there struggle trying to find that perfect fit for themselves. I mean, we all have different personalities, we all have different things that we enjoy, and we might not want to be in a clan of adults, or we might not want to be in a clan of younger people, and we want to be in a group that really supports us on our endeavors, whether it's the acquisition of clan castle troops or clan wars. We might not want to be at the top of the list in clan war as a rush based player. So one note that I must state to you as a person that's looking for a clan: if you're looking at those level 20 and above clans that are already built, you might want to steer away from those because they might not want you in their clans as a rush based player. I mean, look at the base, guys. I mean, look at this base right here. I'm really weak. I can get easily 3-starred by a top tier Town Hall 14. My clan probably does not want me on their war map because I'm gonna give up the easy 3-star, or my army might not be strong enough to 3-star the top level base in that clan war. So you got to think about these things. So networking is key when it comes to finding a clan. You need to be transparent about the type of base that you have, and you need to find other rush based players. That way you can do two things. You can either work together on fixing your bases, and you can motivate each other. And if I were to recommend anything, I would recommend that you check out my Discord server of around 30,000 players. There are a lot of players that are looking for clans, and there's a lot of rush based players in there as well. You just need to talk to them and understand what type of bases that they have and what type of players that they're looking for. Or I would recommend that you look at the Farm War Alliance clans because they cater more to the rush-based player and they arrange wars to basically farm off of one another. Now, I would not recommend that for the traditional player. I would more recommend that for the rush-based player, but I don't personally have any connections to the Farm War Alliance. But if you do, drop a comment down below and let them know. That way we can help other players find the designated clans that they're looking for. At the end of the day, there's a lot of perks of being in a clan, like doing clan games, as well as completion of events, as well as motivation. I mean, there's a lot of perks of being in a clan of like-minded players like yourselves, and you just got to find them, guys. You got to talk to other players in order to find that fit for you. And let's go ahead and jump into our gold pass. So you'll see that we've talked about mostly free-to-play approach, but if you want to increase the speed of fixing your rush, you need to buy the gold pass, and there's a lot of reasons behind this. If you buy the gold pass, there's a lot of perks to reduce the prices of your buildings, also reduce the times of those upgrades, as well as the magic items, and most importantly, the season bank. The season bank on the norm in the silver tier is only 5 million gold and elixir, and what was it? I can't even remember now. I think it's like 50,000 dark elixir. But if you buy the gold pass, you can increase that payout every single month to 25 million gold and elixir and 250,000 dark elixir. This helps out a lot because remember, we're rush-based players and we want to do a lot of upgrades that become very expensive, and we might not have the time to farm every single day. That's where this comes into play. But again, it's all personal preference. If you don't want to spend any money, then you're just going to have to grind and keep that grind going in order to fix your rush. Fixing a rush is not easy, guys. This is something that a lot of players don't realize. Yes, you got to the highest level in the game. Yes, you've unlocked the pets. Yes, you've unlocked the opportunities to get that stronger offense. But in order to achieve that, you're going to put in a lot of work and a lot of time into Clash of Clans. And I just need to prepare you for that, guys, because a lot of players out there just don't understand that. Hopefully you're able to get something out of today's video, and if you enjoyed today's content, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you have not done so already, and if you like watching us quite regularly, turn on those notifications. Now, if you need any additional video support, or you would like to see the very beginning of the Rush Base series, click one of those links over there, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.